The paper is called Recap 3132. There are 6 sections in the chapter, but those first 2 are big. And so I made this sheet to kind of refresh our memory. Let's look at number 5. This is the recap. Here's the question. Number 5, is this growth or decay? How do we know it's decay? This number's less than 1. So first question is, it's decay. Then it says, what is the percent growth or decay? How much less than 1 is this number? 0.053. So what is that percent? Not 53%, 5.3%, right? So this is 5.3% decay. Everybody got it? That's an easy one. That's not bad. Look at this next one. What a mess it is. So here's the equation. Oh gosh, did we have something like this on our quiz? All right. Only you were solving it. Here, we're answering this is a formula, we're answering some questions. What is the initial population of mathletes? Now, you need to be careful. That is a logistic equation. In an exponential, like this is an exponential equation. You can look at the equation and tell the initial value. The initial value is 13, right? That means that at time 0, there are 13. You cannot look at this one, but the concept is the same. When you're talking about the initial value, you're talking about t is 0. So if you put 0 in for t, what does this say? 1001 over 1 plus 90? Because this is just 1, because t is 0. So does that happen? Someone's got my calculator. Does that happen to divide 1001 divided by 91? What is it? 11. So the initial population is 11. So again, in an exponential, you can look and see the initial value. In a logistic, you have to literally plug in 0 and do the math. Okay. What is the maximum population? That one you can look at, because in a logistic, the top number is the limit to growth. It's your top asymptote. So 1001. When will there be 332? What do we need to do for that? This. Not for t. T is time, for p of t. Yep. Plug it right here. So 332 equals 1001 over 1 plus 90 e to the negative 0.3t. So this was like your quiz question. It wasn't part of a word problem, but you had to solve this. So what did you do? Multiply this over to here. So 332 plus, this is going to be a distribute. Who's got a calculator? 332 times 90. 21,000.
880.
880 e to the negative 0.3t equals 1001. Everybody okay with that? Okay, then what? What's next? So 29880 e to the negative 0.3t equals, what's 1001 minus 332? 669, okay. Now what? Divide by that. So e to the negative 0.3t equals 669 over 29880. Everybody still with me?
Yep.
Now what? Now you need to take the logarithm of both sides, because t is an exponent, and the only way to get an exponent down is to log it. Now, we chose natural log, because ln will wipe itself out. So negative 0.3t equals ln this big fraction. And then how do we get our answer? Divide by negative 0.3. So t equals ln this thing over negative 0.3. Okay, somebody type that in and somebody else check it. 12.663, does that sound about right? I'm counting on you. I can't do that in my head.
Would we round that up?
What's the question? Yep. We're talking about a population, so, yeah, we need whole numbers. So would you say 12 point what? 666, so yeah, we'll say 13. All right, anybody have a question about that? Okay, one more. The number of bacteria present is given by this equation. So here's another equation. This one is exponential. Everybody agree? A, B to the x. Find the number of bacteria present after 11 minutes. So what will we do? Plug in 11 for t. So the 11 will be 200e to the 0.37 times 11. So 200 times e to this power. And how do we get e? On our calculator, how do we put in e? Second ln. And this is bacteria, so we'll round this one off too. What do we get? Huh? I can't hear anybody. 11,711 bacteria. Does that anybody match that?
Yeah.
When will the number of bacteria is double what we started with? So when will our population be doubled? Okay, so what are you gonna do? Here's your equation.
430.
Exactly. How does Robbie know I'm gonna put a 400 there? The problem doesn't say anything about 400. How did he know that? What's 200? The initial value. And if we're gonna double it, that means we're gonna end up with 400. So what's step one here? So 2 equals e to the 0.37t. Take the natural logarithm of both sides, so that's fine. So ln2 equals 0.37t. ln2 over 0.37. Meg?
Oh, I got, 1.87337.
1.8.
733.
That's minutes. Anybody else get that?
Yeah.
Wow. 1.8 minutes, we've already doubled.
Then a lot of bacteria.
All the bacteria. Okay? Are we all right with that? Okay, I wanted to finish that. Now, let's get out all that practice stuff I gave you. Now there is so much stuff here, but we have one of the pages, if you look, it says Precal A, Practice Test, Chapter 3. See if you can find that page. It says at the top, Practice Test, Chapter 3. For me, it's the middle page. we are reviewing, then it might be good to look at this paper since it's called practice test. And here is the first problem. So it's the one, it says practice test chapter 3. If it's starred, it's a calculator problem. If it's not starred, it's not. So this is not a calculator problem. You probably aren't going to be able to get it all on here. I mean, I don't care. It's up to you. Feel free to do it on a separate sheet of paper. We're just reviewing. All right, here we go. Step 1. What do we do? How do we solve this? Sounds like a winner. All right, so here we go. What's the first step? Divide by 2. You cannot have this number out in front. Okay? You gotta do something with it. And the easiest thing to do with it is to divide. So, now my problem looks like this. What do I do with that? Loop-de-loop. Anytime, boys and girls, now listen, anytime that you have an equation that says log equals number, you're gonna loop-de-loop. That's how you do it. So when I loop-de-loop, I start with the base. 3 to the second equals x minus 2. 9 equals x minus 2, and x equals 11. Easy peasy. Letter B. Log base 7, what is that, 4 through to 49? What did I just tell you? When you have log equals number, you're gonna loop-de-loop. So 7 to the x equals 49 to the 1/4. Whoa, 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 Miss Ford, what'd you just do there? What did I do? A radical is a fractional exponent. So isn't a 4th root the same as a 1/4 power? We need to know that. We need to know that radicals are fractional exponents. So a cube root is a 1/3 power and so on. What do you think I might want to do now? Any special about 49? Charlie?
You just change it to 7 squared.
Absolutely. And as soon as you do that, Charlie and everybody else, see how these are both 7s? So now the exponents are equal. So x equals 1/2, 2 times 1/4, 2/4, 1/2. So what was the key there? We had to get rid of the radical first. The radical needed to be written as an exponent. And then we had to make the bases match, 7 and 7. C, I'm not even gonna write down. What's the answer to C? 5. Yeah, that's one of our properties. The answer to C is 5. When the base of the exponent, the base of the logarithm match, the answer, they like cancel each other out, and the answer is just 5. Perfect. All right, what about D? Anybody have a thought? Jake?
So, it's 36 is equal to x over 2, but it's because all those ln's are like equal to, right? So if you do 9 times 2 is 36, and x divided by 2.
So in his own special way, Jake has said these logarithms need to be combined. right? We have to put these two together. And since that's a plus, it means these two are being multiplied. Since this is a minus, it means these two are being divided. So we have ln, actually it's 38, 19 times 2, 38, equals ln x over 2. We multiply the 19 and the 2, we divide the x and the 2, and as soon as we do that, it's exactly like this problem right here. You know how the 7s went away? Same thing here. These are gonna go away. So 38 equals x over 2 and x equals 76. Please don't be a goofball and cross out all the LNs in the beginning. It doesn't work that way. You can't do that. The only way you can cross these off is if you have ln equals ln. So you gotta put them together first. E is another one. I am not even gonna write it down. What's the answer? 0.7. When an ln and an E touch each other, they're gone. They're inverses, they cancel. So we have 0.7 for E. How about F? Anybody have a thought on F? Yeah, Robbie?
Oh, it'd be log 8 and then in parentheses x minus 3 over 2.
Exactly. That is step, wait a second, that's step 1, right? You gotta put them together. If you have two logarithms, put them together. And they're on the same side, put them together. Now what, Robbie?
And you
Loop-de-loo, absolutely. Because when do we loop-de-loo? Whenever we have log equals number. So 8 to the first equals x minus 3 over 2. So 16 looks like my answer is 19, if I did my arithmetic correctly. Okay, what do we do there?
Would you make it E raised to the 7
Oh,
fourths?
you're on this one?
Oh, I thought, oh.
It's okay, that's great. Yeah, we can do that. Eli says, I know I could loop-de-loo on this, but it might be easier if I wrote this without the radical. So remember, what does a fourth root mean? A fourth root means to the 1/4 power. So I have e to the 7th to the 1/4. So that's 7/4. And what's so cool about that? They cancel and the answer is 7/4. If you loop-de-loo, you're going to have to do the same work. You're going to have to write that as an exponent. And then you can see x equals 7/4. Remember, the base of ln is e. Okay, how about this guy? We kind of skipped him. What's happening here? X to the 1/3 equals 2. Not 6. Oh, not 6. 8. We're going to cube both sides. So x equals 8. Right? X equals 8.
That's the one.
All right, any question on part 1? Okay, part 2. Okay. Write the equation of the exponential. I know we practiced this the other day, but come on, let's do it again. So we all get a good grade. Actually, this problem looks really familiar. What does an exponential look like? What am I shooting for? Y equals A times B to the X. So I need to figure out what A and B are. Any thoughts on that?
A like 4.
Isn't A like 4? A is 4. A is the y-intercept. It is the initial value. Always in an exponential, A is the initial value. And when we say initial value, we mean the beginning number, when time is 0. That's the beginning. So y equals 4b to the x. Okay, now what? Take that other point, put the y in for the y, and the x in for the x. Now this is no calculator, and I know there's fractions involved. You can do this. Don't we need to divide by 4?
Yep.
Instead of dividing by 4, which I could do, but then it looks like that, which is kind of gross. Instead of dividing by 4, maybe I could multiply by 1/4. That will accomplish the same thing. If you take 1/4 of something, you're dividing it by 4. So b squared equals what over here? I could say 16 over 36. I could also cancel and say 4 over 9, right? Now, it isn't gonna matter, you guys, because if you leave it 16 over 36 and you square root, you're gonna get 4/6, which reduces to 2/3. If you say 4/9 and square root it, don't you get 2/3? It doesn't matter which way you do it, but b is 2/3. So then the answer to the question is y equals 4 times 2/3 to the x. Don't get so excited after doing all this stuff that you say 2/3 is the answer. It's not. The answer is the equation. All right, let's see if we can get through the next one. This one has a calculator star next to it, so we're allowed to use a calculator if we need it. We're writing another equation, but it's a logistic. So you gotta remember the general form of an exponential, right there. The general form of an logistic, right here. In the last problem, we could just stick in the 4 for the A because we know that number is the initial value. Okay? What can we stick in to the logistic from all the information they gave us? The limit to growth. The limit to growth is 18, and where does that go in the equation? Y equals 18 over 1 plus BC to the x. So the limit to growth, I'm done with that. The initial value was 6. Please remember, the initial value is the y-intercept. It's 0, comma. And I also have this number 244/17. I'm reading it right. So I have this so far, plus I have these 2 points. Okay, what do I do now? Yep, so Kamara says plug in that point right there. So 6 goes in for y. and 0 goes in for x. Now, why is that kind of happy news? Because c to the 0th is just 1. And now I can solve this. I'm kind of hurrying to beat the bell. Does that make sense to you? E is 2? So now my equation is y equals 18 over 1 plus 2 c to the x. So what do I do now? Plug in that other random point, so 144/17 equals 18 over 1 plus 2c squared. Now this looks a lot like one we did earlier from your quiz and from that recap sheet. I'm going to go ahead and cross multiply. So 144 plus 288c squared equals, what's 18 times 17? 306. So I just cross multiplied. Now I will subtract 144, so what is that? What's 306 minus 144? 162. And then I will divide. This is probably why you're allowed to use a calculator. What's this? Do 162 divided by 288. 9/16. Oh wait, this is 9/16?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is 9/16, and C is going to be 3/4?
Yep.
So then I can plug that in. And there is my equation. Alright, here's what I need from you guys now. We'll finish this sheet next time, but after that, you need to tell me what we need to practice. So you spend some time thinking about that, okay? We'll finish this sheet next time.